Hi and welcome back to the cottage. Today I want to share with you a list of things that I don't buy or own and never have. Well, I have a really fun video planned for you all today. At least I think it's going to be fun. Think of it as a sort of never have I ever game, but involving stuff. Also, before I get started, I want to say a big, huge thank you to everyone who's been subscribing to this channel. I am very, very close, less than 400 subscribers away from 20,000 subscribers, which is really, really exciting. I plan to do a fun question and answer type of video for that milestone, and I also plan to do a little giveaway for that. But I need your help. I need your help with some questions. So if you would please leave me a comment down below with a question that you have, either about myself, my life, minimalism in general, any sort of question that you can think of to help me fill up the time for that fun video giveaway, that would be very much appreciated. All right, let's get started on the list. These are all what I would consider to be fairly typical, common purchases that are made among average American citizens. This is not meant to be a list of things that you should not buy. We all need to make our purchasing and owning decisions for ourselves and our own personal circumstances. And I'm going to start out this never have I ever with a couple of bigger ticket items. The first being a boat or any type of watercraft. I live in Minnesota. There are lakes and bodies of water everywhere, and it seems like almost every single person we know owns some sort of water toy, whether that's a boat, a canoe, a kayak, some sort of jet ski. Number two, I've never bought or owned a new car or a newer car that required a lease. Used and paid for in cash is the way that we typically like to go, and that means that we've never really bought anything super fancy, but the fact that we don't have a monthly car payment makes up for that in our book. And along those same lines, I've never bought a camper. I know that we personally would never use it enough to justify the cost, but I do know there are quite a few of our friends and family that own campers, and they get a lot of use out of it during the summer months and make some really sweet, amazing family memories. So this is a great example of something that might not be important for me to purchase for my life, but might be something that you value in yours. Number four, I've never bought season passes for sports teams, museums, or amusement parks. It just seems like a really big commitment, and I don't like the idea of losing money if I don't, make great use out of it by attending all the time. And speaking of losing money, timeshares. I've never bought a timeshare. I have heard horror stories of people who have tried to get out of their timeshare and lost a ton of money. Even though we do on occasion go on vacations, I don't like the idea of always having to go to a set destination because you have a timeshare. You kind of feel obligated to always go there if you wanted to get away. Number six, I've never bought or owned an Amazon Prime membership. I know this one seems to be very, very standard practice. I do buy things on Amazon, but what I like to do is just keep things in the cart until they reach that threshold where you can get free shipping, and then I get free shipping anyway. Now, I know there are a few extra perks that come along with a Prime membership, but they've never been tempting enough for me to want to buy a membership. Number seven, monthly subscription boxes or kits. Think HelloFresh, Green Chef, or even Kiwi crates. I've just never tried them. And another membership that I don't own is a big box store membership, such as Sam's Club or Costco. Couple different reasons for this. Number one, even though we have a large family, we don't tend to buy in bulk. And number two, I feel like I've heard from many people that own these types of memberships that they are tempted to impulse buy because they do have some really unique things that are good prices. And so I feel like if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Number nine, storage unit rentals. I drive by these types of buildings often, and I always have that feeling of thankfulness that I do not need them in my life. How about some things I have never bought for our home? Number 10, fancy cloth table linens. Now I do have to specify for this one cloth because I have on occasion purchased those really cheap throwaway type of tablecloths or table mats. I guess I personally just find it easier to clean off the table when there's crumbs or spills than to wash the linens. Number 11, yard decorations for holidays. Think blow up Santa for Christmas. I don't want to store it, I don't want to hassle with setting it up, and I don't want to worry about it blowing away or being damaged during those cold, blustery winter days. Number 12, I've never owned artificial plants or indoor trees. I know there are some very nice looking artificial plants. I personally just don't want to dust them. Number 13, diaper genie. This one is taking me way back to when my kids were babies. I was thinking about for this list some items that I purchased when my kids were little, and to be honest, I did buy a lot of those trendy type of things like exercisers or swings for my kids when they were really little. But one thing I did not buy was a diaper genie or any sort of specialized garbage receptacle for diapers. Speaking of stuff for kids, number 14, I've never bought or owned a trampoline. Not that the kids haven't asked, and they do look like a lot of fun and probably good exercise. I just know too many people who have broken bones on them, and so I'm kind of apprehensive about buying something that might end up costing me more money in hospital bills. Another thing that I've never bought for my kids is number 15, colored socks. I know that seems kind of random. I tend to gravitate towards either white or black only. This started as a way to make it easier to find pairs, and it just really helped streamline my laundry process, so I stuck with it. Now, I do personally own a few pairs of colored slipper socks that I received as gifts from people, but if I were searching out to buy socks for anyone in my family, not just my kids, they would be either white or black. Let's add a few kitchen items to this list. I have never bought or owned a rice cooker, an Instant Pot, or a large stand mixer, you know, the ones that you can make the dough in. I'll admit, I'm just not a foodie. I don't like to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. I like to keep my kitchen really minimal. If I were to break it down to the things I use on a regular basis, it would be very few items. A cutting board, a sharp knife, and a large skillet are probably my three main go-tos. And if you're interested at all on what I keep in my minimalist kitchen, I will have a video that I recently done linked down below for you to check out. While I'm still in the kitchen, let me add just one more thing to the list, and that is number 19, anti-fatigue floor mats. I have actually considered purchasing one of these for myself because I do spend quite a bit of time hand washing the dishes, which I enjoy doing, but it can be kind of hard on my legs. And so I've looked into this, and the reason I haven't pulled the trigger is because all of the mats that I've found look really boring. They don't look cute at all. So if you have any leads on really cute looking anti-fatigue mats that you could share with me, I would really appreciate it, because this is something on my list that I haven't bought or owned yet, but I might consider in the future. All right, let me round off this list with a few personal type of items. Number 20, a smartwatch. I've never bought or owned one because to me it seems like a duplicate of everything that my smartphone can do. Now, I understand that it's a little bit more convenient because it's on your wrist. I also don't like the feeling of things on my wrist, so that's why I've never bought them. Number 21, a bathrobe. I have to say these do look really cozy, but I've never owned one in my entire life. And along those same lines, number 22, a shower cap. For me, it would be kind of pointless because my hair is longer. I can just tie it back if I don't want it to get too wet. Number 23, I've never bought or owned makeup remover. I use a mild baby wash for a variety of things. I use it as my body wash, my shaving cream, and I also use it to remove my makeup. Number 24 is a little bit of a bundle. I've never bought fingernail polish, a manicure, or a pedicure. Now, I am kind of sensitive to fumes, and so the polish itself gives me a headache, which is why I like to avoid it. Also, I am using my hands all the time, and so the polish never stays on my fingers anyway. Now, I have done a manicure and a pedicure before, but these have been gifts that I've been given as services, and I've never spent my own money on them. Number 25, teeth whitening powder or strips. These seem to be very popular. I personally have not seen the need for it. I don't drink soda pop or coffee, and so I think my teeth are naturally pretty white, I guess. Number 26, I've never bought or owned essential oils. I don't know, I might be missing out on this one. I've heard that they're very practical and they can be helpful in many ways. I've shied away from them myself because I feel like there's a really big learning curve that goes along with learning how to use them appropriately. So maybe I'm overthinking things. Let me know in the comments down below if you use essential oils and if you would recommend them. And I'll end this list with something very personal that I have chosen not to buy, and that is number 27, hair dye. Now, I know, case in point, you might say to yourself, well, she needs hair dye. She's got lots of grays in there. But actually I have a little bit of every single color at this point. I've got black, brown, red, gray, and even some blondes here. If you've ever noticed in my videos this bit of blonde hair and wondered if I dye it, I don't. Little fun fact here, this is actually a birthmark that I've had my entire life. So that's my list, guys. Is there anything on it that surprised you? Anything that concerned you? I'd love to hear about it down in the comment section. Also, please don't forget to leave a question for that 20,000 subscriber Q&A giveaway that will be coming up really soon, hopefully. I would love to have a good variety of questions to choose from. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.